Welcome to part 19 of my build of the quarter-scale Jerry Bates Cessna 172 Skyhawk. This video is a slideshow with a voiceover of some pictures I took while building it. Day 109. Not a lot done in the workshop today due to a very bad cold and flu, but I'm slowly recovering. I drilled a giant hole in the firewall for tubing and electronic leads, and then screwed the ignition to the side of the engine box. Then I plumbed the tank and placed it in the space provided. Now I only need some Tygon tubing. Day 110. The servo for the throttle has now been installed and connected to the carburetor. Now I just need an extension back to the receiver and some fuel proofing for the wood. Then I put the plane's serial number, 326, on both sides of the tail fin. Day 111. I found a folder of some soft plastic that I used to make a new pattern for the front windshield. This was easy to lay down, cut, shape and fasten in place with tape until it fit perfectly. Then I laid this down on the new 0.5mm PETG plastic and cut out the windshield very carefully. I decided to begin gluing the windshield on in one place only, so I would not have to fight the whole of it when gluing it on. I only glued it to the post on the left-hand side of the fuselage. This means I have to wait at least a day until the glue hardens and then glue the rest of it. I now decided to start the weathering of the model. This particular Cessna is very weathered. Here you can see that I have started putting weathering on and dirt on the underside of the right wing with the left wing for comparison. The simplest way of doing this is to put a length of tape along the plate joints, draw a line with a soft dry pastel colour, dark grey in this case, on the tape, and then use a stiff brush or even just your finger to transfer the colour from the tape to the surface of the wing. The more colour you put on the tape, the more weathering is transferred to the surface. You can of course use other things like your fingers, they get very dirty, and some tissue or a dry sponge. The paint I use is soft pastels from Faber-Castell. The surface around the wing tanks is very dirty. Day 112. The main event and only thing today is to glue the windshield down. Day 113. There is a wide fairing at the bottom of the windshield, and I used my favourite fairing material to make that, Isopon P38. I began by laying down 3 layers of car body striping paint above and below the fairing. Then I masked the whole of the windshield with yellow painter's tape and then smeared P38 where the fairing should be. Then I sanded the fairing down with 80 grit sandpaper until the blue tape appeared. Finally, I sprayed the fairing with filler primer. Tomorrow I will sand this smooth and add filler where and if needed. Day 114. I sanded down the fairing along the bottom of the front windshield and then removed the blue tape. This leaves the fairing fairly thick. Now I drilled around 50 0.5mm holes, twisted a 3mm drill in the holes, and then screwed the absolutely tiny screws from Mick Reeves models into the holes. I also bent some 2mm wire into the handle on the top of the plane in front of the windshield. A few rivets on the post in front of the doors, and the model is just about ready for the blue paint.